Just 10 simple minutes to convince you that all the information that you're taking, everything that you think you're learning, that you're processing, that you're allowing within your mind is truly not enough. Often in society, everyone loves to say they learned all these things on TikTok. Oh, I learned it from a TikTok. Oh, I learned it from an Instagram reel. Oh, I learned it from a podcast. And these are all great tools, but at the end of the day, they are all very limited because one, TikTok, there are a lot of people that lie on TikTok. The same goes for Instagram. And then with YouTube, YouTube is absolutely amazing. You can learn so much from it. But at the end of the day, there are still things that are just, they can't get deep enough with it. And in podcasts, I will definitely say that 85% of podcasts spoken, 85% of all the podcasts, and there are literally hundreds of, I'm pretty sure there are over 1 million podcasts, at least on Spotify. There's so many podcasts. Yet so many people are talking nothing. Like everything that they say is like the most ridiculous thing. It doesn't matter what platform. I mean, what type of podcast you're watching. There can be like Christian guys, and they're like, yeah, freak, yeah, dude. Like, like I just need a Proverbs 31 women. Like, and then they're like, then there are women that are just like, well, all these men like you have all these different things, like you have the red pill dudes and all these different things, and you have all these different inaccurate sources, and they're just talking random crap. And then the ones that are good are amazing. They're great, they're helpful, and I feel like they add a lot, not I feel they add a lot of value to many different people's lives, and they're great. They're awesome for society. But it's that small 15%, if I dare say even 15%. But one surefire way that can truly, truly help a lot more is books. And I know you're gonna say, you're gonna click off, you're like, oh, I haven't read a book since middle school, Christian. Like, I haven't read a book since high school. Like, school made me hate reading. And I can relate. Like, I know it's true. Like, I grew up literally a reader. Like, I grew up loving to read so, so, so much until about freshman year of high school when we had to read the Odyssey. After the Odyssey, we had to read Romeo and Juliet. I hate that book so much. I hate that book with a passion. I don't care if you say that's a good screenplay. It sucks. I'm sorry. It's boring. It's stupid. They're like cousins, and they're like 15. Like none of it makes sense. But to the point is, I understand why you have that hatred for books. I understand where that comes from, where that, like, that upset, that boringness that you get from books. But I would recommend is you start reading books on productivity, self-improvement, business slash finance, and then also you go add in, like, maybe you like fiction, maybe you like some realistic fiction, maybe you like historical fiction, like things like that. Like, put in maybe something that is more entertaining for you to read. For some people that works. For me personally, I love to read just for the sake of getting the information and the knowledge. Because, like, whether you realize it or not, all the smartest people, all the top world leaders, all these different influential people, all the way from LeBron James to Elon Musk to Bill Gates to Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, all these different people, they all read because reading is so crucial. All your favorite people are your people that you think are geniuses, that are creative geniuses, that are business geniuses, they're just pure geniuses. Whatever you think, they read. The top people, they read because there's so much value, there's so much information within books. There are literally hundreds of years of information within books, but we can just look at books over the past few decades, and just over the past few decades there's so much information, there's so much knowledge, there's so much wisdom that can be applied from the books that you read. But it's just that people don't want to go and open that up. People don't want to take advantage of that. And let me tell you something, if you want to be at the top, if you want to be the 1%, if you don't want to be like everyone else, you have to do the things that everyone else isn't doing. And one of them is reading. There's so many people that don't read. And it's books will only become popular once they kind of hit the social media space. Like in the more creative, artsy filmmaking space, is usually some like book with the word creative or something. Like one is The Creative Act and another is The Creative Way. Like these are books that are popular and everyone is reading them. And you watch so many videos, you basically know what's gonna happen in the book. But what if you went and invested your own time and spent like 20 pages each day? 20 pages. If you just spend 20 pages each week, you're reading 140 pages. That's that's about like half a book in today's day and age with like business and finance and productivity and self-improvement. You can, in 2 weeks, you could be done with the book. And it might say, oh, but that's kind of long. There are people that read a book in 1 week. Yeah, but you don't read any books. You don't read a single book. Like, you're acting like you're going to read a book in 1 week. Most people cannot do that. Most people, that is a lot. That is a lot of information. You don't even, it's like, think about it. Like, if, let's say you walk into the gym and then there are weights and someone is just like, oh yeah, go bench 315. You go bench 315. And you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go bench 315 because I see this big jack dude doing it. But this is your first time in the gym. You really think you're gonna put up that weight? No, you're not, because you haven't built up those muscles. You haven't built it up yet. You have to get experience. You have to work up towards it. And it's the same thing with reading, because you're working out your brain, which honestly is one of the most important organs within your body. The neural pathways that you build, it takes time. It takes time, repetition, over and over and over and over. And then you're going to be able to start reading better. You're going to be able to comprehend things better. You're going to be able to apply things better towards your life. You're going to be, everything is going to flow so much better, but it's something that you have to practice. It's not something that's just going to necessarily come super easy when, you're just going to like, oh, read 50 pages a day. Because I tried that and I was successful like the first 2 days, but after that it was just too much. I couldn't keep up with it. But now I stick with reading 20 pages each and every single day, and I've been consistent with it. Another thing I do to keep track of it is I habit stack it. This is a concept coming from Atomic Habits, where you group it with another thing. So when I wake up in the morning, I go eat my breakfast, then I go and read 20 pages, and then I go work out. I read before I work out because I have that anticipation. My body is like ready to go work out, to put out all the energy. I'm super hyped, I'm super pumped for all of that. And then when it's time to read, then I can go read, and I feel like I'm reading with fresh eyes. I'm reading with a lot of intention and energy. And then after that, then I get to go work out. So those are ways you can really implement more knowledge, get more knowledge. Like people, like God literally says in His Word that people perish for the sake of like lack of knowledge. Like, don't be in a state to where you lack the knowledge necessary to achieve the goals that you want, to connect with the people that you want to be in the rooms that you need to be in, because simply having a lack of knowledge can stop you from being in a room that you're supposed to. Like, imagine you're supposed to be in a room with a bunch of successful people, but you're saying all these things are flying over your head. You're saying concepts, they're saying things that they already applied to their life, but you don't even know that. To you, it's all new, complete information. And it's not, I'm not saying that every single thing that you do is gonna, you're gonna know everything, but at the same time, you have to do your best to equip yourself for every single adversity that might come up, every single person that might come up. You don't know. That simply, like, I remember literally when my mom and I, we went inside inside a building. We were just checking out a house, a model home, whatever, like a house that was going for sale. And we are going in and we are talking with the guy, and I was able to talk so well with the guy because we talked about the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and we're talking about all the different concepts of it. And I remember I was like just about 17, and he was like, wow, that's incredible, because there's so few people that actually read at your age, and actually not just read the book but can actually comprehend it. And we literally had a good over an hour and a half conversation, and just because of that, just because of reading. So never underestimate how far reading can take you, how far the information that you learn. And if you want to get better at tracking these habits, if you want to get better at managing them, you can use my Notion template down below in the description below. It's completely free and it absolutely helps me. I use it every single day, and I wouldn't ever recommend you anything that I don't use for myself. It's completely free. Just go to the Gumroad. You can get it completely free, or you can do a tip if you want, but it's completely free. Just put in a 0 and you get it for free. It's absolutely amazing. And that is why you need to open up yourself to more pathways of information. And what I mean by that is books. There's so much information in books, and don't ever forget it. Now, if you want to watch another video about improving yourself and getting better and becoming the person that you need to become to get success, then click this video right here.